Let me welcome you to the National Hajj and Umrah Health and Safety Awareness Week launch. Before we start the proceedings, we will start with a short recitation of the Holy Quran, and then I will do a welcome, and Lord Hunt, the Deputy Leader of the Labour Group, will speak, and then we will go down the agenda as I think most of you will have the agenda sent to you. So if I can ask Aftab Parvaz to do a short recitation of the Holy Quran, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين صدق الله العظيم. In the name of Allah, most kind, most merciful, praise be to Allah, the Lord of worlds, most kind, most merciful, the Master of the Day of Judgment. We worship you alone and ask for your assistance. Guide us on the path of Sirat al-Mustaqim, the straight path of those whom you have rewarded, not of the path of those who deserve your anger, who gone astray. Verily, Allah has spoken the truth.
Thank you very much. Every year I have the honor and privilege of welcoming everybody here in the House of Lords, and my good friend Philip and myself, we do a joint kind of launch with other parliamentarians who I'm sure will be joining us later on. I just want to say a few things. First of all, to welcome you all and to thank British Hajj Association for the wonderful work that you do. There are many organizations, agencies, local authorities who are here, who are represented here. Many of you will remember that 12 years ago, British Hajj Association came to me, and also they made representation to the government and asked for a Hajj delegation to be sent to Saudi Arabia during Hajj time. Currently, we have 125,000 people that travel for Hajj and Umrah throughout the year, and we know that many of them face challenges during that time. This is not just people who go for Hajj, but those people who travel around the world anyway, whether they're on holiday or whether they're visiting their family and friends. Of course there are challenges, and particularly with Hajj, when you have 3 million people in Mina, in Muzdalifah and in Arafat just for 5 days or 6 days, then in those temporary and in very difficult circumstances, people will have difficulties. But there are other sort of challenges, from health and safety to medical facilities, from the no objection certificates which are issued by the British Embassy in Saudi Arabia for any natural deaths that occur on annual basis whilst people are on Hajj, to those people who may lose their documents or they may fall ill. So the government of Saudi Arabia, I understand, has a requirement that each country runs these Hajj-related health and safety awareness for pilgrims. And I think as a duty for Muslims too, that this is a great time to, in front of the media, in front of the press, that we should be saying to our imams and our mosques and mosque leaders to run Hajj courses and also programs in every mosque. I say this even though I've been on Hajj and Umrah on many occasions. You still need to be reminded of the challenges. You still need to be reminded of some of the new things that are happening. So from those who are booking our tickets and making our arrangements, whether they're honoring what they've advertised and what they've charged you for, and in the past we've had experiences of certain rogue travel agents. Only a few, thank God, because the majority provide excellent service. To those who may find it difficult when they are there because of the weather or because of the different country that they have traveled to for the first time in their life. So this is the Hajj awareness campaign by British Hajj Hujjaj, Association of British Hujjaj, is a fantastic idea because it creates awareness throughout the United Kingdom. And this is a registered charity that actually has been working for over a decade throughout the United Kingdom. And so I want to say thank you to Mr. Khalid Parvez and all his team, all dedicated doctors and volunteers, professionals, businessmen and women who are here with them, and also those who are not here, because I also attend their functions in Birmingham, in Bradford, in London, in many other places in the United Kingdom. So and also it's very important that the meningitis, hepatitis and other jabs that you advise, flu jabs and others that you advise people to take before they go and travel on Hajj and Umrah, that the doctors who are very professional, who do give fantastic advice, free of charge of course. And a couple of years ago I even got my free meningitis jab. Thank you very much for that, which was very helpful. So we are very grateful that the Labour government established the first British Hajj delegation from the United Kingdom, and for over a decade that run very successfully. I am not hopeful this year. I think that there are problems because so far the Foreign and Commonwealth Office and the government haven't. If there's somebody here from the Foreign and Commonwealth Office who might want to guide me whether this service is going to remain, my understanding is that the excuse of government cuts is going to take this service away. If that happens, that's such a big shame, because the government has taken credit, and yes, it was Labour government, but the government, British government, has taken credit for the last 10, 11 years around the world in their fantastic service that we, the British society, provide for the British Muslims. And it's a great way of showing the integration of British Muslims into mainstream society, that everybody is cared and catered for. But more importantly, because doctors will tell you that if some of these problems, health problems, if they are dealt with in Mina, in Muzdalifah, in Arafat, this saves our National Health Service literally hundreds of thousands of pounds. Because if somebody's had an injury, if somebody's had an illness, and they've been treated right at the place where they were they felt ill, then obviously they will not need to go to hospital or be admitted when they come back. Because at later stage, when people return, they are British citizens, they will go to the hospital, they will want treatment. That costs a fortune. And so I think by spending 70, 80,000 pounds annually on a delegation which would provide medical facilities, free advice, because these doctors go voluntarily, and also volunteers who provide excellent service out there, I think it would be a shame if that service disappears. So my own advice would be, first is that we should run a campaign for the next 6 or 8 weeks until 15th of November to make sure that the government does honor the service that was provided by the previous government, number one. Second, that if they don't, that we make highest representation, and if need be, then start a petition to make sure that the government is put under pressure. Thirdly, if need be, then this year, I would even say that the Association of British Hajj should do a fundraiser, and maybe even in a smaller way, send volunteer couple of doctors with couple of volunteers who could help out people in Mina, Muzdalifah and Arafat, and have your own Association of British Hajj flag with a small British flag in the corner to say we're still representing Britain, but the government has withdrawn, making that point. And next year then we have time to, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist a little bit of political plug there, because I think it's very important that it needs to be done. So that's it from me, but thank you very much for attending. And now I'm going to ask the Deputy Leader of the Labour Group, former Deputy Leader of the House of Lords, Lord Philip Hunt.
Thank you very much indeed for your welcome, and it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you to the House of Lords this afternoon. And I want first of all to congratulate the association, both in terms of the programme that it has been organising this year, but also for the work that's been undertaken, as my good friend Lord Ahmed has said, for I think now 10 years. And I don't think there can be any doubt that you've had a huge impact in terms of the health and safety advice that you've been able to give to pilgrims. And what's been noticeable for me, that as the health message has got out in a much more coherent way, you've then identified some of the other problems that we've discussed in previous meetings in relation to travel arrangements and the activities of agents, some of whom have not provided the service that they said they would provide. And I think that it is to the credit of the association that it has been able to continue with the overriding issue around health and safety awareness, alongside trying to tackle what I think are some very challenging issues around travel arrangements. I think, though, that the message that I hear from Lord Ahmed, and I agree with that, is because this has been so successful, there isn't room for complacency. And 10 years on, the message that you are giving out to thousands of pilgrims every year is as relevant as it was a decade ago. And that's why I think it's so important that the association is able to continue to carry out its work with the same zeal and determination that we've seen in the last few years. I know, and I took part in some of the discussions about the financial support available to the association. I know this remains a matter of great concern to you. We, of course, stand ready to give what support we can. I hope, too, that the community itself recognises that you also need support from pilgrims and from community organisations. And I think that's a very important message to give out as well. As far as the delegation is concerned, I would share your anxiety if the government decided to withdraw that facility. There's no doubt that the impact of the delegation, the discussions that have taken place with the Saudi Arabian authorities, has led to, I think, very much enhanced service. And I'd be very, very sorry indeed if the delegation was discontinued. I stand ready to work with you in any campaign that might need to be organised. But I think at the moment, what we need to do is put questions to the government so that they do understand the implications of any withdrawal of support. And again,